Give or take.
Oh, dude.
Maybe less than that.
That was not a minute at all.
10,
No.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Welcome to the first live episode of No Cheering in the Press Box, part of Gaston Spotlight on Spreaker. I'm Carson Dockery. That's James Briggs. That's Pete Hunt. We're here to talk about some sports at you, and we're going to start with some NBA basketball. And I know, Pete, we talked about this on today's episode,
Right.
No Cheering in the Press Box, but obviously last night, Golden State falling to the Los Angeles Clippers in overtime, and really a lot of people think that game should have not even went to overtime in the first place because you have Draymond Green, instead of giving it up to Kevin Durant, possibly one of the best scorers in the history of the NBA.
Right.
He brings it up the court, tries to do what he does 9 times out of 10, which does work for those Warriors as a playmaker. And he had Kevin Looney. You talked about that on a backdoor cut. But what do you think goes on in that locker room? Obviously, Draymond talks about Kevin Durant's impending free agency. There's a lot of things going on. What do you think the vibe of that locker room is today?
Well, I think the vibe of it today, I think it'll be fine eventually. But going back to the actual play and the actual things that happen on the sideline, we talked earlier on the podcast about, I said that for me, Draymond was making the right play in his mind.
Yeah.
That, like you said, he's the playmaker. So he was trying to make a play. And Kevin Durant's mind is, okay, I'm the best scorer in the league.
Yeah.
Can I get the rock, please?
Yeah.
Basically.
Clapping at him. Yeah,
Yeah.
give it to me.
So for me, it was a mistake by Draymond. If we've played any kind of sports, we've all made mistakes. But what I took out of it was the reaction of Kevin Durant, which bothered me the most. If you're a leader, you can't react like that on the sideline. Yeah. If you're a leader, you can't, especially at a combustible player like Draymond Green.
Yeah.
See, because if you bark at him, he's going to bark back. And then after that, it spills into overtime. They lose, and then we're hearing from reporters that very heated in the locker room. I mean, as heated as it's ever been in the locker room. Like I said, Draymond's bringing up KD's impending free agency. You never talk about another man's money.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a lot of things that they're going to have to work through right now.
Yeah,
And like we were talking about on the podcast, it was told after the championship that we really don't know the backstory of this team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, what's underlying with this team? Something's bubbling with this team.
Yeah, nothing can be that perfect.
Exactly. And then David West told us, he was like, if you knew the backstory of this team, you would really look at this team a little bit differently. Yeah. So what is it? What is it? Is it Kevin Durant's impending free agency that's keeping this team on edge? Yeah. Because he's very non-committal. And I mean, if you're a team like Golden State who's trying to 3-peat, 4-peat, 5-peat, you know what I'm saying? You might want to know what one of your best players are going to do.
All right, now we're going to run from the NBA into the NFL. James, we're going to talk about your Patriots. Obviously taking that beating 34-10 to the Titans.
It was a beating.
Now, I don't think anybody saw that coming. Obviously, you have a lot of holdovers from New England. You've got the head coach, a longtime Patriot, Mike Vrabel. You've got Deion Lewis. You've got Malcolm Butler, a couple of guys that are fresh from leaving the Patriots and have some very strong feelings about that. Tell me what your impression was from that game.
One, I was at work.
Well, good. Good.
It was good because I would have been pulling my hair out, screaming if I was there watching it. But it seems like we just couldn't convert third down.
Yeah.
Cause I watched the highlights and stuff like that, and I just dropped balls, missed throws. Like, even from Brady, it's just like this is.
He looked 41 for once.
He looked 41. I hope he fixes it.
Yeah.
But we have former players on the other team. It seems like every time we play like someone that's used to be on our team,
he's 0-2.
We struggle.
He's 0-2 against former Patriots this year. He lost to the Lions and Matt Patricia earlier this year. Now he loses to one of his. He's said he's one of his favorite former players, Mike Vrabel, now.
It's got to be like they know the system, they know how Bill Belichick works and Brady, and like they have to know it.
I think, you talk about the ways to beat the Patriots. I think the Giants have figured it out and shown everybody what you have to do. You have to get pressure up the middle. You have to be physical with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
You gotta be okay with taking some early penalties.
Yeah.
But you have to set that tone and
Get him off of his mark.
Yeah.
Basically.
Can't let him get comfortable.
Good thing we got a bye week coming up.
Yeah.
Try to get Gronk back. I know Edelman hurt his ankle, but it's not serious from what I've been reading. But get Gronk back. Maybe he can help.
Yeah.
You know, get people off of Gordon and everybody else. So.
All right.
We'll see what happens.
Now we'll jump from your Patriots to my Rams, Pete's Seahawks, and this was a game that
Man.
People were worried about. Obviously the spread, all this sort of stuff.
Right.
I know, Rams Seahawks is one of the most. It's always one of the most competitive games in football.
Yeah.
This was a game 36-31. Rams come out on top, but that was as sloppy of a game as I've seen the Rams play this year.
Yeah.
And that was a game that if Seattle was going to steal one, it was going to be that one.
I thought it was going to be them until that interception, right towards the end of the game. One of the interception.
Yeah, he threw.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be Seahawks the whole time. Then the interception, I was like, nope.
Yeah, the pick six. But for me, I mean, you being a Rams fan, me being a Seahawks fan, this is one of the best rivalries that's been going on for probably the better of 4 years.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
I mean, even the year that Seattle won the Super Bowl in 2013, Rams beat us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, this is a very good rivalry that really nobody even talks about.
Yeah.
I mean, So I mean, was I surprised in the outcome? No. I mean, it's just, I mean, in my heart of hearts, I'm a Seahawks fan, but in my heart of hearts, I mean, the Rams just have a better team.
Yeah.
And it's just that simple. They just have a better team, and I was glad that we kept it close. But at some point, coming from the Seahawks perspective, something has to give, man, for us. I mean, we need to either, cinch up the offensive line, which have actually been playing really good here lately, or get a dominant wideout. Love Doug Baldwin. He's a smurf.
Yeah, he's a Smurf. He's a great slot receiver. He is not your big outside the numbers receiver.
And since Russell has been there, we've never had that. We've never had.
We had Sidney Rice for about 4 games.
Yeah, for about 4 games. Yeah. But I mean, right now the Rams are looking really nice, Carson. They're looking really nice. Yeah.
I'm not mad about it. All right, now we'll go to a game more of local interest. Obviously, this past Thursday night, one of the most hyped Thursday night games we've had in a while.
Yeah.
Panthers, Steelers. Panthers come out, jump out in front 7-0. Steelers answer back on their first play from scrimmage. Between the Panthers' first score and their final score, the Steelers outscore them 52-7. Pete, start with us. I mean, what did you see out of that game? What did the Panthers do wrong? What did the Steelers do right?
What I saw was a Panthers team that came into that game really feeling themselves. Yeah. They were really feeling themselves. They're high on themselves. And they got manhandled pretty much. Yeah, they got beat down. They got whooped, and it was a wake up call. It really was a wake up call for Carolina because we're riding high. McCaffrey's doing whatever he's doing, and Cam's playing well, and then you run into a brick wall.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, you let a team score 52 points on the defense that people were saying were pretty good at the time. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So for Carolina, what they have to do is learn from that loss and just keep pushing forward, because that's all you can do. Just flush that one. Yeah. Flush that one and keep it moving.
James, what'd you get out of that?
Well, watching the first drive from the Panthers, I was like, okay, here we go. They're feeling strong. They went down, they scored. They even converted a 4th down.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Ron out early.
I was like, okay, here we go. And then the Steelers came on the field.
Yeah.
And then, it was just because they had that one with Juju Smith, and then there was another big one too, Antonio Brown, which is good for my fantasy team, by the way. Because I have Big Ben and Antonio Brown. I was just like, the defense is just getting shredded out. Didn't feel any confidence in the cornerbacks or the safeties for the Panthers. I was like, they can't do it. They can't stop the Pittsburgh offense.
Yeah.
And then Pittsburgh just looked great.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Really did.
Yeah. The defense and offense. I mean, they held them to like 14 points?
21.
21.
But really,
they scored late.
That last one really was more of a garbage time.
Yeah, they just held them there and then outscored them. Like, what was the final score? I forgot.
52-21.
Yeah, I thought it was 50 points, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
50 burger. That's tough.
That's really tough. All right, well, that'll just about wrap things up for this first live episode of No Cherry in the Press Box. Also, be sure to check out Spreaker, check out Gaston Spotlight. We've got No Cheering in the Press Box. Brad Paguda, who is off screen over here, him and Nick Weisenhorn have screen discussions. Harper Edwards has hers, whose name is the name of her podcast escapes me, but it's really good. Listen in. Behind the Trail, there it is from the speaker. One of those, some of the words. But check out Spreaker.com. Lots of good stuff on there. For myself, Carson Dockery, James Briggs, Pete Hunt. We'll see you next time.